reciprocity is one of the most powerful laws of human nature. Simply stated, this law tells us that the act of doing something for or to someone will provide a similar return to the initiator or the service provider. The more you give, the more you receive. Most often, the return is provided in overwhelming proportion compared to the initial outlay or contribution, and most often in a manner exceeding expectations. People put this law into action almost every day, whether they realize it or not. There's an exchange of energy occurring between and among people all the time. This exchange of energy creates a strong impulse in people to repay or return gifts or favors that are extended to them. Receiving value or an act of kindness instills a positive impression in the mind of the receiver, resulting in a desire to return a similar gesture or value. Even something as subtle as a smile almost always reciprocates in the form of a return smile. This tendency has existed throughout human history as a basic tenet for our survival instincts and our need for social interaction. The law of reciprocity is deeply ingrained in our psychological makeup and, with thoughtfulness, can be refined to work for us in beneficial ways. This law is so powerful that it always provides a return, even when you don't expect one. It's important to remember that, so write it down in your workbook. Here's how this works. Because this is a universal law, it is based on a universal principle. The universe, however entropic or chaotic it may seem, always seeks balance. When you provide value or extend a gesture of kindness or compassion to someone, you are in effect extending energy. The law of reciprocity tells us that the source of energy from which a value or gesture originates must be replenished with energy of like kind. Whether that energy is replaced by the receiver or the universe is inconsequential. The fact that it must be replaced is the beautiful nature of this law, and it provides the very basis upon which we can literally count on a return of like energy. The law operates reliably and, much like a computer, delivers its rewards based on how you program it. When we begin to understand the power that is inherent in the law of reciprocity, the motivation to mindfully practice generosity with our time and attention dramatically expands. So now that you're more aware of the process, let me show you some ways to practice this law so you can provide the value to others and begin to experience the benefits associated with it. This process works especially well with individuals, but can also work well in a group environment or broadly targeted demographic basis. For example, an audience you may be speaking to or a group of people you hope to reach with your product or service. You can easily recall the elements of this process by remembering the following 4 words: look, listen, learn, and launch. Be sure to write these words down in your workbook in the space provided. First, look. Look for opportunities to engage with people. Seems simple enough on the surface, and it is. The thing to watch for here, however, is to simply be aware so you can be prepared for the next step, where you'll engage with others. Your awareness is critical to the entirety of the process as it provides insight to opportunities most others will simply miss altogether. Without awareness, you'll find yourself engaged in just another conversation. Next, listen. Listen to what others are saying so you can learn more about them. This is a combined process whereby every engagement represents an opportunity to learn something new just by listening. Just think of the benefits of being fully engaged in a conversation where you are actively listening for cues and clues, opportunities to provide value to another person. The experience will be noticeably different from all aspects, yours and theirs. Keep in mind the benefits of your ability to listen and learn aren't limited to colleagues and acquaintances. Just think how shocked your husband, wife, or significant other will be when you offer them your undivided attention. While you're in the listening and learning mode, be sure to ask questions at the right time. Be mindful not to disrupt the flow of the exchange. Asking questions opens so many doors and provides insight to elements that are important to others. Asking also reaffirms your interest and goes a long way to validate the importance of what others are saying. When you make others feel that their issues are important, you garner their trust, respect, and admiration. Once you've been granted those credentials from someone, you both win. Finally, launch. Once you have all the information you've gained to this point, you'll be ready to launch your gesture of goodwill or service, and you'll do it with finesse and precision, based on the unique insight you have with that person or group of people. For example, I'm always looking for opportunities to engage with others. When I find myself involved in a conversation, I'm mindful to listen as much as I possibly can so I can actually learn something new. Only then am I able to provide meaningful and substantial value to the engagement, whether I actually launch my service or value at that time or reserve it for a future engagement. Because sometimes it's best to use an opportunity to establish rapport. Rapport helps to establish trust. And trust is the ultimate commodity that'll lead you to the doorstep of an effective launch. The law of reciprocity is an amazing concept to experience. Your awareness of this law gives you more power to pay it forward and experience the rewards that go along with everything you've learned and everything you have to offer.